Hey, David Duford at davidduford.com here, where I help you become top producing insurance agents. Today, we're talking in the 6-part series of the Final Expense Sales Presentation video series. We're talking about presentation video number 5, where we talk about rebuttaling objections. So it's important, as I've said in other of these videos, to keep these videos in contextual sense. So you can't really take this out of the process of what I'm teaching here, because it's really important to understand up to this point, A, it's very unlikely you're going to get many objections, but B, if you follow the process, but B, you will on occasion, and you need to know how to handle any objection that you overcome, because sometimes people, you didn't do a good job of explaining it, or you just kind of went over a concept and didn't get as detailed appropriately enough for the client to totally understand and agree with it. So they'll begin to start objecting from the options that you're providing them in the last section where you ask them for the business. So what do you do when you hear the most common objections? So most commonly what you'll say is, you'll hear is, this looks really good, David. I like what you say. Everything looks good. I need to think about it. Something like that. So what do you say to that? It's very simple. You say, look, that's totally fine, Mr. Prospect. I can understand how you'd like to think about this, but for your particular circumstances, when you say I need to think about it, how exactly do you mean? Then shut up. What this does, in a nutshell, it allows for that nebulous, intangible concept of thinking about it. We've been thinking the whole time. We always think about it, right? It doesn't mean anything. It allows that concept to be broken apart and become tangible, become objective, so that we can determine if the objection in their mind is something we can overcome. In a sense, it removes the layers of the onions and gets deeper to the core. So from that, you'll hear, usually, again, contextually going back to what we most commonly hear in my sales process, we'll hear things like, I need to talk to my kids about it. I'm not ready to buy it yet. I don't have the money. You need to know whatever you experience, you've got to have some kind of rebuttal process to allow you to handle that. So the rebuttal process I use is as follows. Hey, that's totally fine. I can understand why you would say that. And here's my proposition to you. And so from there, I'll go to explain how we can overcome that. So let's take the kids. I'll say, here's my proposition. Grab the phone, let's call them and see what they think. So I'll put them on the spot. If they object to that, then I'll do what I would call a temporary, not a temporary close, but it's like a trial close, where I'll say, let's just do this. Let's get your application done. I don't even know if I can qualify you. Let's just get the qualification done, submit this in, get you approved. It'll get everything set up that it will come out on the 3rd of the month or whenever we agree that this makes sense for you for the first payment. But if I don't hear from you by Friday, I'll hold the application. If I don't hear from you by Friday, I'll submit it in, and you'll know that your policy is good as gold and we'll be good to go. Does that make sense? Because I cannot come back and do a lot of presentations. I've got this fat stack of leads that I'm seeing, and I got a lot of people to talk to. So you kind of see what I'm saying. I'm kind of joking around here, but you get the concept. You know, I'm very busy with a lot of people. Let's just do this or not. So that's kind of like an ultimatum close. A lot of times they'll do it. I don't give them more than the day to do it, because if you add in more days, like if today's Monday and I give them till Friday, they'll forget and they'll just be complacent and go back into, I don't want to spend money because I'm cheap. So set it up for the next day. If you call me by tomorrow this time, and if I don't hear from you, I'm sending this in, we'll get you approved. You can also offer, if you hear somebody say, well, I can't afford it, that's something that they'll say, or I don't have the money today, I'll say, great, that's fine. You don't have to pay me today. Why don't we set this up for next month on the 3rd? If they say, well, I don't know if these policies, I want to get the $10,000, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough money. I need to check my bills. So I'll do a minimal close, which is, hey, that's fine. When I hear something like that, let's start you off with the least expensive one. I'll submit it in to get you approved at least. And then if you want to add more coverage, then we can call in and get it changed. Or maybe we come back and look at this at 6 or 12 months from now and then add more later, because the worst thing to do today is nothing. You know you need insurance. That's why you've talked to me all this time. So let's just do it. And then let's start with the small one. You know that'll fit your budget. And then let's add more when the time is most convenient. Is that fair? Can we proceed? So I'm always talking about propositions. I'm always talking about ways to make things happen on that first call. If you leave the call, you're never going to get back in. Again, there's exceptions, but we operate our business not on exceptions, but on rules. And the rule is you close on the first call. So you got to overcome those objections and use the process of what I gave you to come up with some kind of viable compromise or solution to see if business can be done. And remember, sometimes people just aren't honest. You're not going to get all of the people that you rebuttal. You're looking for people who are honest players in this process of the sales call. And if they don't want to play honestly and they're not telling you something that you can't extract out of them, it's time to end the sales call and proceed. Sometimes they do slip through. I've had frustrating sales calls like that, and when you just can't get it, you got to just mark it down as a loss and move on. So I hope you enjoyed this video on closing your final expense sales presentations and rebuttaling them with good rebuttals. And if you like this video, thumbs it up. Subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you check out davidduford.com to learn more about how you can join my insurance agency to sell final expense or mortgage protection, Medicare supplements, or annuities, as well as my insurance agent inner circle, where you can get a month-to-month membership program to get access to more details on the sales training process. My name is David Duford at davidduford.com. Hopefully, we'll check you out there. Take care. Bye.